aggressively casual.
There we are. The wonders of technology. I'm a live streamer. Of course, I have tech problems the minute I go live. Isn't that just a thing? That's just a thing, right?
Right.
It has to be a thing. Anyways, welcome everybody to Aggressively Casual, episode 11. I, as always, am your host, Freebird, and with me to my internet left is Cheeks Miller. How's it going, Cheeks?
Hey, what's up? Look, Sans head rag tonight.
Ooh, we get the full Cheeks experience.
You get the full bald head.
Oh, baby, oh, baby.
The glare is blinding. Well, whatever.
Oh, wait, I just thought we could sell the front there for advertising space.
No doubt. Throw a little J.J. Abrams lens flare on top. We're good to go.
Exactly. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So, Cheeks, how have you been? What you been playing?
Oh, what have I been playing? Well, I'm still playing the game that should not be named.
Yes.
We did play some Aloft. What else am I playing? I don't really know. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Let's see.
This week, not much. I mean, I briefly dipped into the Monster Hunter Wilds beta, but the controls on that are so wonky. Yeah. I just didn't feel like spending the time to tweak them.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too, because it's really interesting. I have been playing the game that should not be named, which has been a lot of fun. That's all I can say.
Right.
We're
trying to get permission to talk to you about it.
It's true, we are. We've asked 3 times now. But as far as I can tell, the messages have not been seen, so they're probably lost in a sea of consciousness. I've been playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is I've got some thoughts, and apparently some people have some thoughts on that game. We'll touch on that. I've been playing some of the Ambulance Life Paramedic Simulator. That's an interesting title. I dipped very briefly into Civ 7.
You should play that, the ambulance thing. You should have played that before the crime scene cleanup game. That's all I'm saying.
Well, unfortunately, Crime Scene Cleaner came out way before the Ambulance Life Paramedic Simulator game. And then I've been playing, there's a new mobile game, and I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, please hold.
It's so good, I cannot remember the name.
Shop Titans. I've been having fun.
Speaking of mobile-ish games, iOS games, every night for the last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I have been playing a match 3 game called Mundus. Mundus.
Okay.
Every single night before I go to bed.
It's got its hooks in you.
I like match 3 games, and at some point I decided, you know what? I am going to complete every single level in this game. Yeah. I am currently at, I think, 2,600 and something, and I'm only about halfway through. So I may not eventually I may just give up on it, but it's something I play before I go to bed. It helps my brain sort of settle down, or at least start focusing on other things.
I was gonna say your brain can settle down, mine fucking can't.
No, not really, but I mean, there's degrees of settle down,
it's right? True. It's true, there is. There is.
But I've been playing that one for years. Also, there's another iOS game that I've played off and on for years, but it's
Minecraft.
My thing, that too. No, it's called Dungeon Quest.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
It's a little Diablo style, ARPG. I still play it.
Yep.
I've been back to playing it again lately because I was like, and it doesn't leave my iPad, and it's even on my phone. I have it on my phone as well, and if I could get it on the PC, I would. It's a great little game. It's kind of beer and pretzels, but at the same time, as you get forward, there's some depth there as well. So yeah, I've been playing that.
Yep, I have to agree. Those are
waiting for Avowed next week.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm very much waiting for Avowed to hit next week, and then Monster Hunter Wilds the week after. But I Do we start with the good or do we start with the bad tonight? It's your call.
Well, I mean, I couldn't even get into the game in Monster Hunter Wild because of the controls being so damn wonky.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's start with the bad, and we'll end with our most anticipated games and whatnot of 2025. So, I have been playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I've been watching a lot of content of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I loved the first game. I think you said you did too, right?
I did.
You played. You
I
played
will get this one, but it'll be a sale. It'll be a
yeah,
sale.
absolutely, absolutely. Like.
Mainly because there's too much other stuff going on for me to drop 200 hours on a single player game right now.
Well, there's that too. I'm cramming in an hour here, 2 hours there when I can, or or when I can't sleep. It's hey, I'll log into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and have and mess around and see what kind of trouble I get into. But so I've been loving the game. It's gotten pretty much universal praise from critics. I was doing some research beforehand, and it's sitting pretty well on like OpenCritic and whatnot. If I pull it up right now, it's
everything I've seen on it is nothing but
it's an
pretty much good
89.
things.
Yeah, it's an 89 on OpenCritic. 96% of critics recommend it. The player rating's 100. But
Right.
that being said, there is a loud contingent of people who do not like this game and don't like it for what I'm going to call silly bullshit reasons.
Well, one could make a case that most of the time people dislike a game is for silly bullshit reasons.
Yeah, but this one seems in particular a little weird. I really enjoyed Co Carnage's playthrough of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 a few years ago. And I started watching his most recent playthrough of KCD 1 just to kind of, remember, oh yeah, this is what happens in that game, yada 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 blah blah blah. I didn't want to play through it myself. And the comments on the YouTube side of things started drifting towards, well, this game looks boring. There's not a lot of exciting combat. There's not a lot of, story and things happening and this, that, and the other thing. And then 2 came out. I started playing 2, and I've seen even more of those comments hit his and ACG and all these people who really said that we've enjoyed the game. It's been a great time, etc., etc. But for whatever reason, these comments are the ones that I keep seeing in my feed, and the ones that I see popping up on Reddit and Twitter and Blue Sky and all this stuff. And like, I think there's two modes of thought for this, right? And I want to know if you agree with me. One, I think that the we hate everything. Everything sucks all the time. The ESAT people have glommed onto this game because it's getting such incredible review scores. I think the ESAT people have glommed onto it for whatever reason because, oh no, there's one scene of dialogue in a 200-hour game where you can romance a male and you are also a male if you choose to. Jesus Christ.
Right.
But the other thing...
I got an idea. Just don't.
Right? Just don't do it. You don't.
Here's the meme about that I saw the other day. If you're against gay marriage, just say no when the gay person asks you to marry them.
Right? It's fine. It's okay. No one's hurting you.
It made me chuckle.
It's not a personal affront. I promise you, you'll be okay.
Yeah, just whatever. But
there's that loud vocal minority that is saying, "Oh, the game is a failure. It's woke." I hate that term, but you know, like that kind of thing. But then there's also the contingent of people who have silly nitpicks that they're turning into full-blown criticism. They're making literal mountains out of nothing by saying, "Oh, it's a walking simulator. Oh, if you're over encumbered, you can't
Buy
ride
a
your horse."
Fuck not.
No. If you're over encumbered, you can't ride your horse. You can't do
Well,
this.
if I was
oh,
a horse
what do you?
and you're wearing armor and you're carrying 100 pounds of shit, I don't want your ass on my back either.
Right? Well, and then like some of these, oh well, the combat is bad, and the there's not enough story in the game, and I was like, hold up,
It's a 200-hour game. How is there not enough story?
are we? Well, and that's the thing. I'm like, are we
Heck
playing
yeah.
the same game? But I said this the other day, and I wanna, I said this the other day, and I want to go back to it because it really.
Hey, my camera locked up.
Oh, did it?
Hang on, I'll see if I can fix it.
Oh, it did. I said this the other day, right? This is a game that truly rewards your investment and your time.
Right.
I was doing a quest, and I'm not going to spoil anything, right? But I was doing a quest, and I went through and did every little step, micro step of the quest, right? Mm-hmm. And then I finished that quest and then started doing quests around that person. Yeah, I started doing quests around that person that were tangentially related to the quest I just finished, right? So, it was, go get me, 10 bear asses or whatever, right? And then it became, okay, well, you helped him. Well, now can you help me take this thing that you just did and, do something over here with it and whatnot. And then I went back and talked to the original NPC that I got the first quest from. And it opened up like so much more dialogue options and like information about other people where I could get other quests and side things to do and all this stuff that I wasn't even aware was possible. Right. Like, the game doesn't tell you these things are possible, right? If you wanted to, you could just go and beeline the main story and have a good time, right? Mm-hmm. But this game, like, I sat there after I finished all that, and I was getting ready to go to work, and I sat there, and I was stunned.
Right.
Just stunned at how incredible that feeling was. Like, remember a few weeks ago when I talked about that feeling that I want from a game again? This game gave me that feeling.
Oh, there you go. Did it
for
make
the first
your little
time.
Bits tingle? Did it make your little bits tingle?
It did. Thank you. But I have a problem with the people who look at one aspect of a game and automatically deem it trash, and that's becoming more of a thing. And I genuinely think it's an attention span problem.
Sure.
I
thank Twitter.
Why are we thanking Twitter?
Because now you have to say everything you need to say in 128 characters. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, TV commercials. 30-second, 60-second spots. Over the last however many years.
Yeah, okay.
Whether you want to call it a concerted effort or not, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. But the fact of the matter is the things that are coming on, the name of the game is quicker, faster, more efficient, which is kind of bullshit, by the way. And so all of this stuff combines to the attention span of the average person these days is far shorter.
Yeah.
It just is, because we're used to tweets. We're used to real quick TikToks, real quick YouTube shorts, Instagram shorts. We're just used to all of this noise coming at us in tiny little bursts.
Yeah.
So our attention span tends to be shorter. So when a game comes along that asks you to invest some time before it rewards you, and here's the thing, microtransactions are all about instant gratification.
Yeah, that's true.
This game does not have instant gratification unless you're a fan of the genre. which I am. Uh, so it's like, RPGs in general are not instant gratification games. They're not,
No,
and
no.
it annoys me too sometimes when back in the day. To date myself here, a lot of these games that would come out that are sequels
Yeah,
would allow you to import your original character.
yeah, that's true.
So you didn't have to slog through all of those opening levels again. And it did somewhat reward you a little faster, but you still had to invest time
Yeah,
in it, that went away at some point. So now every single RPG that comes on, and this gets on my head, the most egregious offender of this, if you will, is the Elder Scrolls game. What's the meme is you always start in prison.
yep, yep,
Every single Elder Scrolls game. And
yep.
that's I get it. It's a trope. It's how you can it's an easy way to get a character into a story.
Yeah,
Um
sure.
but at the same time, I think the overall point is our attention spans have shortened, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going all conspiracy theory here, all I could. Um But the fact of the matter, when you look at things like you need to say things in 128 characters, here's your 30-second short video, here's your 1 minute short video, that's all you have. It eventually starts to shorten that attention span. And when things don't happen as fast as you think they should, they start to lose that interest and it just doesn't hold their attention. You could also call it the rise of more ADHD, ADD, whatever. I think, but hot take. At the end of the day, I also think it's gamers wanting their cake and wanting to eat it too.
Yeah, okay,
I
yeah,
want a 200-hour experience and I want it now.
yeah. I can see
You
that.
know. Um so because I can't buy my way to the top in this game because there are no microtransactions.
Right.
Now, and like you said too, then they hit on this one thing that they don't like, and suddenly that overshadows the 400 other things that they do like. It's like, man, everything about this game is great except for this one thing, so this game sucks.
Right. Right.
And you're like,
Well, I think
no,
I've mentioned this on the show before, but like this kind of behavior, right, reminds me of the Nintendo fans, the Zelda fans, getting on Jim Sterling for giving Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10.
right?
And that's the same kind of behavior, just in reverse. Like the game is trash because one thing
Right.
is bad or one thing is
One thing is
wonky.
bad. How
Don't
could
get
you
me wrong.
possibly give this an 8?
I am terrible at the combat in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit because I push it aside as much as I can. I'm the super charisma, speaky
Right.
diplomacy man. That's my role, right?
Well,
And I'm really
the
good at
combat
it.
here, they're trying to give you some realism,
Yeah.
which, okay, if I'm not actually holding a sword, that's really hard to do.
Right.
Combat in this game would be amazing in VR.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
But when you're trying to do it via controller or mouse and keyboard, okay, I'm gonna go back to the Elder Scrolls games. Daggerfall did this shit. If you wanted to slash down from say right to left,
Yep.
you had to move your mouse in that direction
Yep.
to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the same thing. They've simplified it from what I've seen. Again, I haven't played it, but I've watched a lot of content on it. They've simplified it down to like 5 positions now, as opposed to the way it was in the first game.
Yeah.
So they have streamlined it a bit, but it's still a combat system that you're not going to be great at for a while, which
Yeah.
is the point,
Which
right?
is the point. That's the fucking point. But again,
Although,
if I can't
if you went
clicky
all the
clicky
way through
shoot,
the first game, Henry should probably start out better at it than what he does.
well, so you if you've gone all the way through the first game, you definitely have some muscle memory when it comes to how the game plays. That's
I don't mean that.
That's a little
I
different.
mean the character himself. The character itself. If you got all the way through the first game, this is where it goes back to importing your character, right?
Well, So they do explain that away. In the beginning, I'll talk about this, and you
Sure.
can tell me what you think. I don't know if you've watched any of the beginning of the game, but
Bits and pieces of it.
basically you get into a fight and you almost die, and
Right.
the potion that the caretaker that takes care of you is giving you is the respec potion from the first game.
Nice.
Yeah, like really cool little like really thing. But like when I realized that, I was like,
Right.
oh, that's good.
Well, on the one hand, at least they came up with an in-universe reason for it.
Right, right.
On the other hand, just let me import my character.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
You know.
Even if you let me import my character and then knock him back down a few pegs, I'm okay with that.
Right. Well, and that's then what that does is reward you for playing the first game.
Right, right. Well, then
We've
like
gotten
they
away.
also
We've gotten
they
away from that. Whereas
the other
you know you used to get rewarded for playing the sequel. Now companies just don't give a shit anymore.
remember Mass Effect.
I do.
Remember being able to
Mass
import your
Effect was an
character through all
importer.
three.
Yeah. Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And if you started with 3, if you remember when 3 first came out, if you started with 3, they had that little kind of sub program where you could go back
Yep.
and make every major decision from 1 and 2
Dragon Age did the same
and,
thing.
and build your character that way.
Yep, Dragon Age did the same. I remember that. Dragon Age did the same thing. BioWare, ahead of its time. Who knew, right?
Right. Was.
But was. But so I wanted to talk about that because it brings me to it brings me great frustration to see this, and I used to like respond to these people and try to understand where they were coming from, but I think that most of this is just coming from again that same mentality of YouTuber said game bad or YouTuber
Right.
said combat bad, therefore combat bad.
Well, and that's the thing too. This is where we kind of get into meta commentary. We live in a world where nobody wants to learn shit for themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Frankly, tell me what to believe. Tell me what to think. Tell me whether it's bad or good, and that's what I'm gonna go with. As opposed to this game looks interesting. It looks interesting enough for me to pay for it and try it.
Right.
And you've got what, 2-3 hours on Steam.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah.
So download it, install it, play it for a couple hours, and then if you don't like it, refund it. Done.
It used to be. I used to I used to do a review series of the first 2 hours of a game to tell you if that was enough time to make a decision about whether or not you should enjoy the game or
Right.
buy the game or whatever.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's very important.
I agree. You've got to grab their attention. And here's the other rub, right? As a good developer, I need to grab your attention and hold you long enough to make you want to invest time in my game.
Yep.
That is, admittedly, that is a very difficult line to walk, and many of them fail.
Yeah. Yep.
I go back to my prime example of this is the original Borderlands. They got slightly better as they came forward, but it's still not there. Whereas Borderlands, you've got to invest. It's not just an hour or two. It's more like 4 hours plus to get to the point where that world finally starts to open up.
Yep.
And
And
it took me a while to get through it, and finally because I played it, the original one, and I was like, oh my god, I'm still not out of the tutorial. I'm 4 hours into this. I'm done. This is
right.
I'm
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend of mine who was like, dude, this game gets so much fun. And it gets a lot of fun when you're playing it together. So I slogged through it. And sure enough, once the game opens up and the multiplayer opens up, suddenly that's a hell of a game.
Right.
So the point is, and some people's tolerance for that is more or less, right? For some people, if you don't grab them right out of the gate, it's not going to happen. Some people will slog through way too much time before giving up on something.
Right.
You know, I've played a few games in the day where you're slogging through this just hoping that it eventually gets better, and it doesn't.
Right. Been there, done that.
And then sometimes you think, oh, this game is going to take me forever to get through, and then it doesn't. One that comes to mind is in the Halcyon days of, I want to say, the late 90s, maybe the mid 90s. There was a 4X game that came out called Ascendancy.
Okay.
It was really good. It was really, really good. It was like right up there with Master. Then the second one came out, and my cousin and I, we were just, oh God, this is going to be great. We've been looking forward to this. We're looking forward to this. We're looking forward to this. We get in, we start playing, and literally 4 hours later, we're like, that's it? That's it?
Oops.
I beat it already? What? Huh? And it just kind of gobsmacked. And I mean, we weren't playing on easy either. We weren't playing on ultra hard, but because we'd played the first game, so we were like, let's kick this up a couple levels, and then we're like, that's it?
Right.
We're done?
Yep. Well,
What
it's the same. It's the same feeling that I had playing the newer Masters of Orion. Like for whatever reason, like I played the crap out of the first however many there were and years ago.
Mu 2.
Yeah.
Massive Orion was good, but Massive Orion 2 might be the best 4X game ever
Yep.
made.
And then the Wargaming did the re-release. It was a great game, but it was fucking over like that. And I was like, where's the rest?
3 as well.
Where's the rest of the game, Wargaming?
Right. I did like Mu 3. Mu 2 was still better. I did play the new one. I played the new, not remake, just Masters of Orion. It was okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is, well, Diablo has the same problem. Diablo 2 is the pinnacle, right?
Yep.
And they're still trying to match that.
And they're all chasing.
You're still chasing that bone, chasing that carrot.
Yep.
And I get it, but so you try to go into each new game and judge it on its own merit.
Right. Well, the thing of it is that like the Wargaming still owns the rights for Masters of Orion. I just double checked to make sure. Like they still own that, so like they could do something, but they haven't done anything in a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're holding on to rights for no reason other than to hold on to them, which is frustrating. But beyond that, moving on from games that are frustrating because people are frustrating.
I think that's the thing, right? At this point, the overall gaming community is very fickle. Yeah. They want it all. They want it now. But then at the same time, they're like, well, why didn't you make me a 200-hour game? Well, because you're not going to play it.
Right.
But some of us will. Some of us, because here's the thing. There's enough in Deliverance 2 to actually make me consider dropping $70 on the game.
Yeah.
Because there's enough play time there. I get tired of dropping $60 or $70 for a 14-hour fucking game.
Right. Well, which is why I'm which is why I'm open to things like Game Pass and Ubisoft Connect and EA.
Sure,
whatever
except
EA
last week we talked about how those are part of what's contributing to the downfall of the industry because they just cannot make their money back with those.
Right. So it's a
catch-22. It's a very much the only reason I'm going to have Avowed next week is because it's on Game Pass day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I've paid for Game Pass for years. I've been paying for Game Pass since the 360 days.
Well, Game Pass has been around since Xbox One.
Oh, did it? I thought there was something before that though.
There was the live gold where you got like a free game every month.
I consider that the same thing.
Fair.
It's the same type of service. I've been paying that for playing since I think the 360 days. I didn't get it when I had just my Xbox.
Yeah. Same.
But when I got because I was like, well, of course, back in the day too, you were getting decent games.
Right.
every month.
Right.
It wasn't brand new, but it was still a top flight game almost all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I pay for the family now because well, for a while she hasn't played lately, but my wife spent a lot of time playing Fortnite for a long time, so it
Fair.
was just easier to get the Game Pass family. And I have it. I have the Ultimate now because I have it on. I use more of on the PC than I do
Yeah.
the
Same.
actual
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah. Right. Same.
So yeah, Avowed. There was so I may, if it's really good, I'll eventually end up buying it anyway.
Right.
Um, so far as that. That's probably the big one this month that I'm really waiting for. Monster Hunter Wilds, okay, don't get me wrong. Controlling issues not aside, I am interested in the game. I liked World. Rise was okay. Rise was good. Rise wasn't terrible.
I was about
I
to
know
say
there are
I
people that
liked.
shit all over that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, people shit all over Rise because it was originally a Switch title.
right.
And
So they automatically, I'm like,
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it got the it's a Switch game treatment.
well, here's the other thing. Lovecraft Narlathep Rising is interesting to me. Um, which comes out later this month.
Yep.
It's more of a kind of a play novel more than anything else. But
Yeah.
it's Lovecraft, and we don't get a lot of Lovecraft. And I've talked about Lovecraft before, where I'm not a huge fan of his actual writings. I do like what people did with the world after that.
Right.
March.
March is rough.
I think my feelings about Shadows are well known at this point.
Right. I was gonna say. Well, March we get WWE 2K25, which looks like a bit of a. Which honestly looks like a bit of a. I don't want to say down year, but like ever since 2K22,
right?
They've been doing this thing where they've been like slowly making better improvements over year over year.
Well, they're
the
in
game.
Mad mode. They're kind of in Mad mode.
Well, yes and no. Every year they really do overhaul one big thing, but this year they're bringing a thing called the Island, which if you, I like the idea, but I've also have friends who play NBA 2K exclusively. Right, that's the game they stream and play. Right, and there's a thing in that called the City. It sounds like a very similar thing where you create your own character and you go and do different things and yada 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 blah blah blah. All this stuff happens, right? The problem that I have with the City and the Island is they are microtransaction fucking slogs of bullshit. Hell. It is literally a pit to throw money into. So, in NBA 2K, you have to spend at least $100 to get the character, to get a new character the way that you want it to be, or spend 1 billion hours grinding that character up to whatever level you need it to be to actually be able to enjoy the fucking game. That's a problem for me. So I'm interested to see what they do with the Island, but I'm also very, very concerned it's going to be the new microtransaction hell money pit bullshit thing, and I'm not excited for that. MLB The Show 25 looks really good this year because they finally dropped old generation consoles. So they can actually just focus on making a better game instead of worrying about optimizing it for the PS4 and Xbox One. Congratulations.
Right.
And then the Shadows, well, it is what it is. I am looking forward to the Tales of the Shard Lord of the Rings. That's the like cozy survival-ish. Yeah. That looks really good.
Adamfall.
And then that's right. Adamfall's next month too.
Adamfall, which if you're not familiar with Adamfall, it's kind of essentially British Fallout.
Yep, basically. It's easy.
It's very Fallout. If you look at it, to me, it's very Fallout 3.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
So like
April, Crashlands 2. Put it on your list. Done.
Absolutely. Crashlands. Yep, exactly. The Crashlands you put on your list.
If you like that crafting sort of thing in the vein of Don't Starve, or Terraria or something like that, but you want it a little bit more irreverent.
Yep.
Butterscotch Shenanigans is where it's at, and that's the company that makes Crashlands.
Yep. Well, the interesting thing is, once we get beyond April, like we go into May, we have Doom, and that's it. Look at the rest of this year.
Yeah, it kind of starts dropping off all of a sudden. Void Sales looks interesting. I don't know if you've looked at that. Void Sales looks interesting.
What is?
It's a single-player game.
Okay.
Spelljammer. Think of it as Spelljammer.
Okay. All right. You have my attention. Let's see. Void Sales. Oh, I had now that I have seen this. Yeah. I have seen this. That does look good. But then if you look at the rest of the list goes, oh crap, we don't have release dates for
Well, but the weird thing is, if you look at this
anything.
list, a lot of this list that they don't have dates for duplicates the list that's above. So, because Crashlands 2 is on the, we don't have for example, we don't have dates for this list. You're like, yes, you do.
Oh yeah, look at that.
If you scroll back down through there, there's
Yeah,
some other things that are like,
interesting. Yeah, there's a couple.
you got like the.
Well, we
date
don't
right
have a
above
release date for
here.
this one yet. That's for sure. I can tell you that we don't have a release date for that one yet.
Well, right. Yeah, we'll see. Sometime this year. Hopefully.
I would say hopefully sometime this year. Also,
Fable.
the Elden Ring one I'm looking for. We're not gonna get Fable this year. There's no fucking way. There is
No,
no.
but I am somewhat cautiously looking forward to it.
Oh, same. But yeah, we're not getting that.
Hopefully they'll fix the issue that Fable had though.
Well, but then it begs the question: which one comes out first, Fable or Grand Theft Auto 6?
Right. And the issue I'm talking about with Fable is that there comes a point when you're playing Fable that if you can go far enough in one direction on the morality scale that you can't go back. Yeah. In one of the games, I went so far to the good scale, and I was like, I wonder if I can turn myself evil now. Yeah, I basically became a serial killer in that game for hours, and you could not move the scale back down towards evil at that point. If you maxed it out, it wouldn't move after that.
Hold the phone. They made Greedfall 2.
Yeah, it's coming.
I mean, I did not know that. I didn't realize that the first one was enough of a success for them to make Greedfall 2.
Well, whatever. Greedfall was good.
Ooh, knowing nothing about this other than the title, I'm interested. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Right.
What we saw of Killing Floor
3
looked really interesting.
Speaking of games I didn't think did good enough to warrant a sequel.
Oh, dude, Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2 sold gangbusters, man.
Marines versus God.
All right, you have right.
All right.
All right.
I'm slightly intrigued.
All right,
and perhaps a little nervous.
All right. Metroid Prime 4. I look. It's gonna come with the Switch 2. It's gonna be a launch title for the Switch 2. We all know that.
Moon Samurai.
Mecha Break. Interesting. All right. What else we got here? Let's see. Mouse PI for Hire looks really good. That's that first person.
That Disney game?
No, it's the first person Disney-esque like noir title.
Oh yeah. We looked at that. That actually does look kind of interesting.
The new Ninja Gaiden game looks really fucking good.
Ooh, NASCAR.
The new Ninja Gaiden looks really, really good. NASCAR 25's coming. Sweet. That actually be really good.
PAX Day.
I wish.
Right, exactly.
I wish I could be excited, but everything I've seen about PAX Day has been terrible.
Right. I want to be excited, not so much.
Not so much after seeing what people are doing.
Pokemon Legends, We Are Not Pal World, coming to the Switch.
Right. Which again will either be a launch title for the Switch 2 or shortly after the Switch 2 launch.
What the hell is Roadcraft? That sounds interesting. Rogue-bound pirates.
Let's see. Roadcraft is literally a game.
It's a road building game.
Run a disaster recovery. It's a focus.
What was the other one? Yeah. Rogue-bound pirates. Oh, that looks cute.
That looks cute. An adventure roguelike with intense naval battles and deep ship customization. Ooh. All right, that's interesting.
Yeah, okay. I'll throw it on my list. It's a sailing game. I dig them.
You're right. Oh, what else we got? Shipwrecked Lost Colony.
Right. We kind of skipped Rift of the Necrodancer up there.
Well, it's already out. It's really good.
Yeah, that's true. It came out last month, didn't it?
Like a week ago.
Fine. This is Gun Fu. Hello. You have my attention.
Spray paint simulator. Oh baby.
Nice. Single player. Huh.
Let's
Have to
see.
look up more about that.
A couple of Star Overdrive, Star of Providence. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Terrifier, the arcade game. All right, interesting. This title alone is all right. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Now, is that a remake or?
No, I do not believe it is, and I also have put that pretty much in vaporware at this point.
Let's see. Because, like, I played, the original back in the day.
Exactly.
So what? I mean, are we in the same mode of vaporware as we were in with the fucking KOTOR remake?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, you hear a lot about it, but nothing is ever hard, Um,
Yeah. I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking, trying to see. Let's see. Is there Paradox Interactive sequel to? Okay. But I don't know. I don't see that coming out anytime soon. Really.
right.
I mean, again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'd be happy to be wrong this time because I love the shit out of that game.
Well, we need some good vampire games.
I mean, and like I said, for the credit, the website still says coming 2025. So we'll see.
Right.
Like I don't know, man. We'll see. We shall see. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that. I love this GameSpot headline. Yes, Metroid Prime 4 is still coming out in 2025.
Sure it is.
Look, generally, if you have to keep assuring people your game is coming out,
right.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, so it's like a stacked first part of the year. I think as we get closer, you'll probably hear more things.
Yeah, I think so
too.
Well, and to be fair, we are still kind of feeling the effects of the post-pandemic, slowdown when it comes to when it comes to game development. We're not.
Yeah, but
it's nowhere near as bad as it was, but we're still quite there.
I think it's time to put that one away. But yeah. Plus, once we get past it, traditionally you have early releases, and then you get into late spring, summer, and you get a lull.
Yeah.
Then you'll get some fall releases. Then you'll get another lull to Christmas time. That's traditional.
And then holiday they ramp up again so that they make money for Christmas. Yeah.
So that's pretty much all we're seeing is basically a return to that cycle. Which is fine. Whatever. Gives some time to actually play some shit.
Right. Which again,
because there for a while we were talking about that. It's like things are coming out so fast you just can't keep up.
Well, yeah, like between September and December, my wallet was crying, and generally cries every year. But they know that they do it by design, so that you have a bunch of stuff to get through between September and like December, and then January, February are usually pretty quiet, so you can actually play the shit you bought between September and December.
Right.
Let's be real here. Well, I mean, what? Final thoughts? Anything you want to? Anything you really want to get out before we call this one?
No, I don't think so. I mean, pretty good discussion this evening.
I think so too. I think
there's a topic I want to address in a couple of shows, though.
Okay.
The one where we had a fundamental disagreement the other night.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking we could also. We
thought you were going to go there this week, to be honest.
No. I wanted to save that one a little bit. Make sure we still had a fundamental disagreement on it. To be fair.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. On the surface, it's a fundamental disagreement, but let me also preface this: it's not huge. It's not like fucking world shaking. It's just in this case, we're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh no! How dare we have a disagreement
about this sort of thing?
How dare we have a disagreement? Can we still be friends?
No, screw you.
Man, that's going to make seeing you in June really awkward.
Right? Damn it. Who are you? I don't know. Go away, you fuck.
Go away. Ugh. Ugh.
But yeah, so it's one of those things. My whole point is that might spark a livelier discussion, if you will.
Oh yeah, for sure. That, and I do want to do, and I think this should be like our, like maybe like 15th episode. I still want to do like our each of our history of gaming and like what influenced us and what we and whatnot. And I think that'd be a cool one to do for like a milestone episode, like 15 or 20 or something like that.
Part of the reason I haven't been playing much lately is I just released a new ambient project and I've already started a new one. So
that's right, you have. And if you like the ambient music stuff, guys, go check him out on YouTube. It's Cheeks Miller.
Cheeks Miller, or look up Half Century Tracks. You'll find it.
That's because he's a half-century old, chat.
Right, exactly. It fits the idiom. I don't know what I'll do once I turn 60, because then it doesn't count anymore, right? But, it was changed because they were...
I don't know, Paul McCartney's 82 and he still sings When I'm 64, so...
Right.
I think he'll be fine.
Here.
But all right, guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate it. This will be up on the VOD for you, those of you on YouTube, later this week. There was an issue uploading 10. That's why 10 hasn't appeared yet. I'm still trying to figure out why YouTube says 10 can't be uploaded. I don't know if it's a us thing or if it's a YouTube thing. So I'm working with YouTube to find out why. For those
Rivals is on sale.
Ooh, nice. But yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. As always, we love y'all very much, and we'll speak to y'all again real soon.
Peace out, folks.
This may be the last time you see me. This might be the last gig I do. At the end of today, I may just pass away. On the other hand, it might be you.